Here we go. Picks for every game. Week 16. Sit down, buckle up. Let's make it happen. Yo, Dave Loughy here on Twitter at Loughy_D. Hit your boy up if you haven't done so yet. And as always, help me feed that algorithm. If you think this content along the way this season has helped you in any way or just provided entertainment, you just want to fade, fine. But hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. It goes a long way, and I appreciate you for it. And as always, we'll gladly refund your misery. If you think you've made the biggest mistake of your life, just click unsubscribe. You never have to see my face again. Let's get into it. We got 16 games. We got Thursday. We got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all of that good stuff. And we're coming at you first, Thursday night football. Broncos at the Chargers. Chargers laying 2.5 points, 42.5 point total. Look, I kind of like this as a bounce back spot inside of a field goal for the Chargers, if we're being honest. I know it moved from 3 to 2.5, but I don't know if it's going to dissuade me enough. You know, they just got smoked by the Bucs at home, while the Broncos have been propped up by their defense lately. And we've actually seen some troublesome rookie developments from Bo Nix in his most recent couple of starts as well. I also don't expect Jim Harbaugh to take that loss lightly. Actually, I know he isn't. He blamed the loss on coaching. He didn't mince words when speaking about it after the game. And I'd expect this team to be ready on Thursday on a short week for sure. Look, it's possible that the Broncos could be without Riley Moss and Patrick Surtain this week, playing with only a few days rest. And yes, I'll always have more on this game Thursday. You guys already know. Every Thursday morning, Monday morning, 11 Eastern in the morning. I've got picks for this game, sides, props, totals, or sides, props, touchdowns, you name it. But it's a massive game for both teams. Chargers sit at 8-6. Broncos are 9-5. And I'll talk about some playoff scenarios later in the video, but just know that the Broncos have a very tough road ahead. And this isn't exactly the best time for Bo Nix to start looking like the rookie that he is at all. I mean, you have two good coaches. Better defense goes to Denver, but the secondary isn't 100%. Even if Surtain plays, there's just no way he's 100%. And both teams have underwhelming run games for sure and mediocre passing games. But give me the veteran quarterback in this spot, in a bounce back at home after a humiliating loss in a big game last week against the Bucs. We'll have more on this Thursday as always. And if you like the Chargers, 2.5. If you like the Broncos, I wait to see if it moves back to 3 because you already missed that 3. But right now, give me Chargers minus 2.5. Tell me down below where are you guys going with this game? Texans at the Chiefs. Texans 2.5 point favorites. This one's going to bounce all over the place, I'm telling you. 40 point total. Look, I'm old enough to remember when Patrick Mahomes suffered a grade 3 high ankle sprain in the 2023 playoffs, 2022 season, 2023 playoffs. Seemingly was unlikely to play the next game, ended up playing perfectly fine, beating the Bengals, then going on to win the Super Bowl against my Philadelphia Eagles. That sucked. I won't relitigate that game, but that holding penalty on Bradbury late, I don't know about that one. Either way, look, he re-aggravated the injury in that Super Bowl, and they still won. It's 2.5 wherever you look. By the time you're watching this, maybe it's changed, but this just looks like a hedge on Mahomes' status right now. If he ends up playing, the Chiefs are 100% favorites at home. Look, I'm telling you guys, I'm stating the obvious. You already know this, right? But if he doesn't play, does this line just push through 3 and further, towards the Texans? One way or another, you're getting line movement. It's just going to be wildly in your favor or wildly against it. I'll be honest. Why would I not be? I tell you guys everything I bet, and when I fade games, and if I'm just leaning in a spot but haven't bet it yet, I bet the Chiefs plus 2.5. Mahomes has missed 2 games in his career. Do you know why he missed those games? He dislocated his kneecap and came back only a few weeks later. The Chiefs have a 2-game lead over the Bills, but the Bills hold the tiebreaker. The Bills also play the Patriots this week as 14-point home favorites. Then they have the Jets in Buffalo and another meeting with New England, that one in Foxborough, while the Chiefs have to face the Steelers in Pittsburgh next week and the Broncos in Denver. I would not be surprised to see Mahomes play. But here's the other thing. Even if he doesn't play, I'm a big Andy Reid guy. I'm a big Steve Spagnuolo and Chiefs defense guy. And I've said from the beginning that I don't believe that this Houston team is firing on all cylinders right now. So even at 2.5, if Mahomes doesn't play, fine. Look, am I going to get some movement against me? Sure. But I don't think it's the worst bet ever. Worst bet would be grabbing Houston at minus 2.5 right now and Mahomes ends up playing. Texans are a beatable football team. I would give me Chiefs plus 2.5. Giants at Falcons. Falcons minus 10, 43-point total. I have an honest question for you guys. I mean this with all sincerity. Should the Falcons ever be a 10-point favorite at this point of the season? My answer to you would be if they win this game by double digits, it's because Bijan blows this wide open, which would absolutely be their one path to winning, right? Or the defense, makes some uncharacteristic big plays and takes one to the house and gets some pressure, but they don't get pressure. This team, mostly Kirk Cousins right now, just stinks. That win, snapping a 4-loss streak and going in and beating the Raiders with Desmond Ridder on their center, that said more about how bad the Falcons were than how good they were, despite the win. I'll put it to you pretty simply. If you like the Falcons, don't bet it at 10. There's 9.5s out there, and you're not going to pay any extra for them. It's at minus 110. If you have zero confidence in Atlanta, grab the Giants at plus 110. Me, I'm not forcing this game. Matter of fact, there's actually 2 big favorites that I like this week, and we'll get to them. But the Falcons aren't going to be one. I'm not laying 10 on them now. Come on. I don't even care. They could win by 30, and I'll stay true to this. I'm not betting the Giants right now, and their quarterback rotation is an unknown between Tim Boyle, Tommy DeVito, and Drew Lock. I think this is going to be a good prop spot. I think it might actually be a really nice buy low on Malik Neighbors. The guy's just getting peppered. We might find some spots with Bijan, but man, his prop's going to be massive this week. There's going to be spots out there for sure, though. Absolutely. And you can check out all the free picks on the Tails package or on Tails page over on OddsShopper. Even if you didn't want to join the Discord, you can. NFL 24 is the promo. Get 50% off your first week or month and come join the Discord. Get all the free picks. I already put all my picks from this game in yesterday. But all the free ones are out there too. Go to the OddsShopper Tails page, expert picks. Get all of it, not just mine, everybody's free picks every day for NFL and all the other sports. I think this will be a spot that you'll be finding some of my stuff there. Right now, lean Giants plus 10, only because I have to pick something, but I'd pass here. Steelers at the Ravens. Ravens minus 6, 45-point total. I got to say, look, I'm a big believer. Mike Tomlin's one of my favorite coaches, okay? I said last week, on principle, I'd go Steelers. I said I'm not betting the game, but I'd lean Steelers on principle being a dog. But I could also see the Eagles just rolling them after that disappointing game against Carolina. Yeah, the Eagles rolled them. Eagles, that game wasn't really competitive at all. But they're coming off an ugly loss. Mike Tomlin rallies the troops. There's just no chance. Look, we have 16 games, guys. I'm not forcing spots just so I can tell you guys to bet something. And then you go, why did he say that? I'm not going to do that, But there's no chance right now. The uncertain status surrounding George Pickens, that's huge. Did you see how anemic this offense was without Pickens last week? And then TJ Watt as well. Call me a pussy. Fine, I can take it. I can handle it. But I'm not going to choose a side right now. Maybe later once we get more news. In all seriousness, though, have you seen how bad the Steelers' offense is without Pickens? It's bad. They don't have a solid run game. It's not like they're a great run-blocking team. You can't just lean on the ground like they want to do against good run defensive opponents like the Eagles or the Ravens. And if Watt misses, that's a huge hole in the defense without one of the best players in football. On the positive side, a report today said Tomlin's optimistic that he'll be able to play, but in what capacity, I don't know. I'd love to grab Pittsburgh in a bounce-back spot, 6-point divisional dogs against the Ravens team that's coming off a blowout win at MetLife. And Lamar Jackson in these spots has not historically done well. Covering is a big favorite. But right now, I would just, what do I gain from that? Nothing. I'd lean Ravens for all the reasons listed above, the injuries, but it's a stay away until further notice. Eagles at the Commanders. Okay, let's get into the weeds here. And by the way, guys, this is a fun game. Before we do, I wanted to throw something out there for these of you guys who, there's some people who only watch videos on YouTube, which is 100% okay, right? Recreational bettors. Let me grab some picks on a Sunday, maybe a little early. Maybe there's some YouTube people out there who want to grab it on a Tuesday or a Wednesday and lock some early picks in. That's a sharper better, right? Now you're working your way up the sharpness scale. There's another better who understands that a top-down market-based approach is just going to win them money. And here's what I mean. I set a promo code up. I asked our guys behind the scenes, can you set a promo code up specifically for this video? For all the people that have watched me all year long, we're in week 16, to get 50% off our Portfolio EV subscription, whether it's a week or a month. You want to dip your toes in the water or you want to dive in for a month, 50% off. The promo code is ROI. Link in the description and in the pinned comment. Click that. Use the promo code ROI at checkout. You're getting 50% off. These are my results in NBA and NHL this season, okay? Straight from my picket. And I have not watched a single NHL game. I don't know a single way to originate my own picks for NHL. Can I do it for NBA? Sure, but I don't have the time right now. These are strictly from me going into Portfolio EV, building out my portfolios, taking a second, and just pulling up every bet that pops up and betting them. We have a mass entry tool where you can click that, click your sportsbook. It'll load up to 20 bets at a time into it, and you just click bet after putting your bet size. I'm getting 100 plus bets down every day, and these are the returns. And I'm doing nothing but setting things up small in the back end, where not even back end, you're just building a portfolio out. Click mass enter, use all of the books you have at your disposal, and watch the money come in. I'm saying that in all sincerity. I'd love for you guys to check this out. Join the Discord. I swear, for those of you that want to actually make money sports betting, and it's a time commitment of 20, 30 minutes a day. I make every single bet from my phone. Every bet I make is from my phone, 100% of them. And it's the simplest process ever with the Odds Shopper app. So if you want to get in, or hit me up in the comments or my DMs if you have more questions, I'm happy to answer them. I'm telling you, it's an amazing way to make money on all sports, but even the ones you have no clue about, like WNBA, NHL, NBA. ROI is that promo. 50% off your first week or month. This is only for anybody watching this show as well, this video. Check it out, link down there. Would love to have you guys try it. You're gonna love it, and you're gonna start making money and figure out why market-based betting with Portfolio EV is a brand new way to do things and a much better way to do it all. Eagles and Commanders. So the Eagles showed on Sunday they're entirely capable of throwing the football when they need to. We know that. Jalen Hurts said post-game, just because we don't mean we can't. And I love that when he was asked about the pass. The Commanders barely escaped with a win against Jake Haener and Spencer Rattler. And Darren Rizzi, look, had he not opted to go for the win there, I don't blame him. Who knows what could have happened? They could have won. Either way, it's tough to bet against Philly right now. Although I will say 3 points feels a little bit fishy. There's some 3.5s out there. So it wouldn't, like, if you guys wanted to grab Washington at 3.5, go for it. But, you know, A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley apparently escaped this game unscathed after both had injury scares. The O-line's fantastic. The D-line is absolutely wrecking games. And Philly can beat you in a multitude of ways. Again, this line feels a little bit fishy, but I already put a small play on Philly with the hope that this keeps moving. I think you're going to start seeing 3.5s across the board. So if you want Philly here, grab that 3 now. That's what I did. Half unit play for me on the Eagles. Patriots at the Bills. Bills 14.5 point home favorites, 46.5 point total. Josh Allen's amazing. This guy's clearly the MVP right now, no doubt about it. But these always feel a little trappy to me. Say what you want. It's fine. Like, I always encourage you guys to let me know where you're at down below. Always. And if I'm wrong, come back and say it again. But make sure to say it first. Don't talk shit after the fact. Talk shit before the fact. And then when you're right, talk shit after the fact. Or if you're wrong, come back and apologize. Anyway, to be clear, you know, no one's going to ever come back into the comments and be like, wow, yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't see the Eagles almost losing that game to Carolina. They just disappear and then come back later. I appreciate that about you guys. You know, you're callous. But at the same time, you look at this game, right? Eagles played down to the Panthers after a huge marquee win against Baltimore. It's all anybody talked about, right? And now it just feels like such a similar situation. The Bills have, and of course the Eagles had the Steelers the very next week. The Bills come off a huge win, a statement win against the Detroit Lions. And now you're 14.5 point favorites against a clearly inferior opponent, but a divisional opponent. It's a tale as old as time. I'm putting the half unit, not a full unit player, but we're getting a divisional opponent outside of 2 touchdowns against a team coming off the biggest statement game of the year. This is just a robotic play for me at this point. It's nothing more. It's nothing less. If it's 13.5, you better believe I'd have the Bills here. But at 14.5, give me the Patriots at 14.5 because we're just simply betting the number. Browns at the Bengals. Bengals 7 point favorites, 48 point total. I told you guys there were going to be a couple big favorites I liked later. I also told you guys yesterday or last week on the show that I was probably just going to ride out the season with Joe Burrow. And at least for this game, I'll keep my word. We took a shot on the Browns last week, and it was an unmitigated disaster. Now, I did say, you can go back and rewind the tape. I did say we're going to play the money line here because if Jameis Winston were to have a decent game, they have a real shot of winning. If Jameis Winston just sucks because the Jameis experience is who knows what the hell is going to happen, then it's over from the jump and we never even have to worry about it. Well, that one was over from the jump. Get this, though. The Bengals technically still aren't eliminated from the playoffs. And as crazy as this sounds, I don't think their path to clinching a playoff berth is all that insane. Yes, it's super narrow, but it's not nuts. They need the Broncos to lose out. The Broncos are at the Chargers this week, okay? Then they're at this Bengals team next week. Crazy game. And then they have the Chiefs to close out the season. That's crazy. I mean, the Chargers could lose out too, but I don't think that's happening given their schedule. That's another way that the Bengals could get in. Obviously, the Bengals have to keep winning games. But both the Colts and the Miami Dolphins also have to lose a game. That's possible. Highly unlikely, but this Cincinnati team is not packing it in yet. We saw it last week. We saw it the week before. Normally in a divisional spot, I'd be looking to take the 7-point road dog, but not this week. I told you, we'll just ride Joe Burrow here. Bengals -7. Lions -6.5 at the Bears, 46.5 point total. All right, look, the hits just keep coming for the Lions. It is bad. It's gotten to a point now where they might stick you on the field. And that might be satisfactory because I don't know how they're going to keep fielding a team. Now, seriously, though, they've already been dealt several critical blows to the defense. And now they lose Aleem McNeil to an ACL, Carlton Davis to a broken jaw, and now the offense is taking hits. David Montgomery tears his ACL, needs surgery, out for the season. Brutal. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. If you're a Lions fan, I legitimately feel for you. Sucks. The Bears stink too, though, but I might put a small play on them as 6.5 point home dogs. Or I fade this game, but I'm not betting the Lions. We didn't bet the Lions last week. We didn't bet the Lions the week before. Oh, would you look at that? 2-0 betting against the Lions over the last 2 weeks. Wouldn't you guys know it? We'll have to do a recap at the end of the year on the teams I hit the most on, the teams I got smoked on, and the teams that you guys think I performed the worst on, but surprisingly didn't. The Lions will certainly be in the conversation. Are you guys still riding Detroit here? I wouldn't blame you. I mean, this Bears team is awful. But here's the other thing. This is only the second game they'll play outside of a dome all season. How crazy is that? The other game was early November. I think November 3rd, they played in Lambeau. It was like 52 degrees. It was windy and rainy, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't super cold. Not to say this is going to be crazy. Forecast is calling for like 29 degrees at Soldier Field, 10-mile-per-hour winds. It's not brutal. It's not good. But I just can't get past the fact that this team is dropping like flies. They're decimated by injuries. And it's a divisional home dog of 6.5 points. We'll sprinkle a bit on the Bears here at 6.5. But, it's still the Bears, right? It's still the Bears. Rams -3.5 at the Jets, 46.5 point total. As my buddy Andy Francis, many of you guys watch our show, Dave and Dan, over on Andy Francis's channel every Thursday. And many of you enjoy it. Appreciate you. He always likes to say, when teams who are out of the mix, they start throwing caution to the wind, crazy things can happen, right? He said that about the Jets last week. And I'm not quoting him verbatim. Let's paraphrase here. But he said it exactly that about the Jets last week. Then they put together the best offensive effort of the season. Now they're 3.5 point home dogs against the Rams. And it's entirely possible that I'm just a moron for this one. I've been called worse. In many cases, you'd be right. But I like the Jets a bit here. I'm pretty confident this is going to move to 3. If you can grab it now at 3.5, that's nice. If you like the Rams, just wait. But it's too little too late for the Jets. If Sunday's game told us anything, though, it's that they aren't just throwing in the towel, right? And putting things in cruise control and mailing it in without the starters. No, that was exactly the opposite of what we saw. So give me the over 46.5 here too, and we'll go Jets plus 3.5. Could be a colossal mistake. Cardinals -4 at the Panthers. Are you surprised that the Panthers, as favorites for the first time in like 33 games, didn't cover last week? I mean, come on. Bad teams are going to be bad. And they're especially when you make them a favorite at home against another bad team. I'll have more on this later. But I'll take a shot on them this week. There's just no way anyone goes back to the Panthers. Think about it. Everyone bets against the Panthers, and it's like, oh, because I know this from the comments in my video, right? They cover against the Chiefs. They almost beat them. They cover against the Eagles as 14.5-point dogs. They covered these big spreads, and it's like, oh my God, fine, I'll jump on the Panthers. Fine, I'll do it. And then you jump on the Panthers, but you do it when they're a favorite. And now there's no way. People are writing off the Panthers for good, right? Are you one of them? Wouldn't blame you. But that's going to happen. That's going to happen. Everyone's just going to write them off. They crushed their dreams week over week. They can't get them right. So guess what? You better believe no one is going to be going to the Panthers this week. And they'll be left scratching their heads when they cover, saying, but they couldn't cover against the lowly Cowboys. That's just how it goes. I'm just saying the league plays out like this all the time. The level of parity is fantastic. Bryce Young props and Adam Thielen props might be on the card this week too. Come check it out in tails. But give me Panthers +4. Let's go back to somewhere nobody wants to go. All right, Titans at Colts. I don't have much on this. The Colts still have a shot to make the playoffs, about 10% chance. Titans seem to be all out toast at this point, whether it's Will Levis or Mason Rudolph. Just critical mistakes. They're a terrible football team. Colts have a chance. They're still alive. -4.5 at home. I'll lean Colts -4.5. I'm not betting this one, though. Same thing for Vikings, -3 at the Seahawks. I don't know if it's going to be Geno Smith or Sam Howell. I will give you guys a little insight here, though. The Vikings went from -4 to -3 in this one. And that's after a big, impressive blowout win against the Bears at home yesterday on Monday Night Football. I'd almost lean Seahawks here because, you know, the Vikings have a real shot to take over first place in the NFC North, but the Seahawks desperately need a win, right? The Seahawks team is 8-6. They're second in the NFC West. The Rams could lose this game this week against the Jets, but the Seahawks are 3-point home dogs, and it moved from 4 to 3. They have a 36% chance of making the postseason right now. I don't think they have to win the division either. Actually, maybe they do, given the NFC North, right? Maybe they do. I don't know. I would assume they do, actually. Yeah. Whatever. Either way, lean Seahawks +3. Two of my least favorite games on the slate, though. Maybe I'll have something later on this one once we get more info regarding the quarterback situation with the Seahawks. All right, Niners at Dolphins. Niners +1 at the Dolphins, 46-point total. The Dolphins aren't eliminated from playoff contention yet, my friends, but the path is extremely narrow. Meanwhile, the Niners are essentially dead after a lifeless loss to the Rams. I bet the Niners. I actually like them there. They had every shot to win that game, too. I'm not making excuses, but you look back at this like, what a pitiful performance. Don't talk to me about the rain. Both teams had to play in the rain, didn't they? And one of them lives in a dome. I don't know. A Dolphins bounce back wouldn't surprise me here, though, after a pitiful performance from Tua Tagovailoa on the road in Houston last week. Even if Jalen Waddle isn't able to play. Like for the Niners, Trent Williams probably doesn't play. Why would he at this point? His backup, Jalen Moore, isn't practicing. The Niners are actually working out offensive linemen this week, early in the week. We still have to see if Teron Armstead practices, though. Maybe Bradley Chubb's able to make his long-awaited season debut, which at this point would probably be meaningless anyway. I do have a little interest in the Dolphins, though. Getting them at home, -115 money line in some spots, so you're essentially just betting them to win. You could grab the -1 too. But I'd lean Dolphins money line -115. Team Hill still has something to play for. They're notoriously better at home. Not the worst spot to target. Jaguars at the Raiders. Raiders -1, 38.5-point total. 38.5 points. This is 39.5 everywhere else. Bet365 still has it at 38.5. And as always, if you're not on Bet365 yet, if you're in any of those states, you know what to do. Link in the description and the pinned comment. Here's why I say that. You're getting $150 in bonus bets, and all you're doing is signing up through that link, depositing $10 after you take a minute to instantly verify yourself, and you're betting $5 on whatever it is you want. You could bet live Indian cricket game, and the moment that bet settles, you have $150 in your account in bonus bets. Bet a Russian ping pong game, and it settles at 2 a.m., and you have $150 in bonus bets. Or just bet anything from any of the games coming up this week, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, 150 bonus bets instantly. Use them on whatever you want. There are no restrictions whatsoever. And Everybody who bets 25 bucks on a same game parlay on Sunday gets $25 in bonus bets instantly as well. So they're just doing great things over there. Take the free opportunity. You're not getting this anywhere else. No other book is just handing you money. Bet365 is doing so. I know not all of you are in this state, but for those of you guys that are in the states on the screen, take advantage of it. Collect your bonus bets. Make something smart of the ability to just say, I'm going to collect this and I'm going to build up my bet. I actually did that on Bet365. I deposited essentially nothing. I built it up to $1,700 just through those bonus bets. So it does work if you make the right plays, for sure. 21 years or older to gamble. Gambling problem, call Text 1-800-GAMBLER. Links down there if you want to jump in. All right. I don't have much interest in grabbing either team here, but I do have tepid interest in the total. Aiden O'Connell could return this week. Mac Jones hasn't even been that bad. Him and Brian Thomas, have built a really strong connection. It just feels like one of those ugly games that scores a surprising amount of points, especially when you look at this Raiders defense. They already have no ability in the pass coverage. They lost Max Crosby for the season, making an already inferior pass rush worse, unless you're Kirk Cousins and the Falcons, which in that case, all bets are off. I'd lean over 38.5 here in a dome, though, between two eliminated teams that are just going to play with reckless abandon. You know, we talked about it with the Jets. I haven't bet anything here yet, but I'd lean over 38.5. All right, 2 games to go. Bucks at Cowboys. Cowboys are 4-point home dogs, 49-point total. I don't know if I pull the trigger here. It feels like the Cowboys are actually the right side. Now, this is where you cue the comments, right? How could you bet the Cowboys against the Bucks? The Bucks just crushed the Chargers, who are a good team, and they did it in LA. I get a lot of those comments. We know that. About Dallas and Carolina. You know, imagine like just all of this compiles into one thing. Is Dallas the right side, or is the Bucks the right side? Is there no real edge in this game? I kind of feel like there isn't a right edge. I don't think the Cowboys are the right side. I also don't love the Bucks here, but they're a good football team. And a win here puts them one step closer to winning the NFC South. The NFC has begun the defense for the Bucks has really begun to take shape, and the Baker to Evans connection is fantastic. And Bucky Irving should be 1 week a little bit healthier week over week. I feel like Dallas is the right side. I just can't pull the trigger. I would lean Bucks, but it's not a game I'm targeting. And the only reason I'd lean them is because they have so much more to play for in this spot. But this just feels like the right number. Unless you're like, hey, Dallas inside of 4, but at the same time, this could just be one of those games where they get routed. I hate it. I really hate it. You guys on the Bucks? I would assume public's on the Bucks here in this spot for sure. We'll see. We'll see once we get more information later in the week. All right, let's close this one out. I told you there were 2 big favorites I like. Now, every Monday I'll have this video, 11 Eastern. Come check that out. And I think you'll be fine waiting on this one, but I did bet it already. Saints at Packers. Packers are 13.5-point favorites, 42-point total. Last week was probably a wrap for the Saints. We grabbed them at 7.5-point road dogs, and they home dogs. And they had a shot to win that game on the final play. We'll take it. It didn't matter. If they went for 2, good, we cover. If they go for 2 the good thing is they didn't go for, actually it wouldn't have mattered anyway. We were covering that game regardless because we had them out 7.5. That was just a good number. But that feels like the last gasp, right? I'm not surprised the Packers are 13.5-point favorites this week. I wouldn't be shocked to see it move through 14.5. So like I was saying, if you like the Saints here, wait. But if you like the Packers, don't wait. I didn't. Kamara doesn't seem any chance this guy plays. Not that it matters much at this point. They have no quarterback and also no viable weapons on offense. Now they have to go to Lambeau Field to take on a top-tier team in the NFC in the Packers. You know what? I don't usually like these numbers, but it's 13.5. It's not 14.5. Give me the Packers minus 13.5 for Monday Night Football. Hey, appreciate you guys as always for watching. Like I said earlier in the video, if you want to like legitimately take profits to the next level with 0 time commitment and no learning curve, use the promo code ROI. Use it. Get 50% off your first week or month of Portfolio EV. Don't worry about anything now because you can jump in and learn everything on the go, and we can teach you with all of the tutorials, and you can start making money immediately. You just have to get volume down and be on as many books as possible. That link down there with promo code ROI at checkout will get you there. Anyway, we'll see you guys back here on Thursday for the next one. Peace.